I'm going to be showing you how to get 13,000 weapon XP in as little as 3 minutes. There's 2 ways you can do this. Method 1, which I highly recommend, is with a teammate. One that you can communicate with and you can be on the same page with. Method 2 is as a solo player, which is still very efficient, but I'll still recommend method 1. Both methods are crazy fast ways to get weapon XP, but method 1 is going to be the most efficient. So I would highly recommend you pair up with a teammate and make sure that you both are on the same page. If you guys want, you can leave your names down below and find teammates using the comment section down below. I'm going to start off with how the glitch works. This is going to require you to play on the duos playlist, and the reason why is because you're going to be using the most wanted contract. It's a 4-minute contract where players who pick it up have to stay alive for those 4 minutes. When you complete the contract, you'll get about 6k XP, which is a lot already, but if you're able to also loot a crate at the same time once the contract is about to expire at 0 seconds, the XP is going to double. It's going to increase to 13,000 XP. And if you pair it up with a double weapon XP token, it's going to multiply by a lot for just 4 minutes of work. For my personal experience, I was able to get a weapon from level 1 to level 16 in just 1 game, and it only took about 8 to 9 minutes, and I was doing it as a solo player. Just make sure you don't leave the match. If you want to end it, make sure you get killed and that you don't win the gulag. You also get extra bonuses at the end for character XP. I also don't recommend leaving, just because there was a couple of times where my XP glitched when I left the match early. After completing my contract, I didn't receive any weapon XP or character XP. Before I start with the methods, I just want to let you guys know that this is a high risk, high reward situation. There's a lot of players going for these contracts. Just alone, the most wanted contract gives out a lot of XP. There's also a lot of players who will do everything possibly they can to hunt you down, since they see it as an easy kill when you get the most wanted contract on you. So you'll most likely be running into a lot of players. So for the first method, you want a teammate who you can communicate with, and you both need to be on the same page. A teammate who decides to pick up the contract, I would suggest you find a vehicle. I would recommend the chopper, though that's the best way to do it. So that way you can fly around in the air until the timer ends. And if you take a lot of damage or if you need gas, you can always refill and repair at a gas station. Just find one on the outskirts of the map and just repeat that over and over. And just a heads up, when you use the helicopter at a gas station, you don't have to get out and you don't have to land the plane. You can still hover over the gas station and it's still going to refill. For the teammate on the floor, you want to try to land in an area where there's a lot of loot crates, and you want to loot as much as you can, as quick as you can. And the reason why is because every time either player on the team loots a crate or a duffel bag, it knocks 10 seconds off the timer. So if you open up 6 crates, that's 60 seconds off the timer, and the contract goes from 4 minutes to 3 minutes. If you guys are both able to communicate and you guys are able to knock these contracts off, you can do them in as little as 2 minutes and 30 seconds, and that's plenty of time to go out and look for another most wanted contract, so you can get them done back to back within 1 game. It's also worth mentioning that kills reduce the time by 25 seconds. I wouldn't recommend going for kills unless you're extremely confident that you're going to win your firefight, or if it's a guaranteed easy kill, only because you can easily loot 2 crates and knock off 20 seconds with no effort. So that's one of the reasons why I would recommend just looting and just avoiding any players if possible. And if you are confident, the player with the most wanted contract can stay on the floor too, and both players can loot in a different area at the same time to knock off even more time. Now, whichever way you guys choose to do it, just make sure the player with the most wanted contract opens up a crate once the contract is about to expire at 0 seconds. Unfortunately, I didn't have anyone who I can team up with or even test this out with, so I'm not sure if the player who doesn't have a contract can also open up a crate at the same time and get double XP. I do know that both players get the 6k XP from completing the most wanted contract, even if you didn't pick it up, but I guess that's something that you guys can try out, and let me know down in the comments below if it does work, and if it does, that's going to be even crazier. When you have the contract, make sure you use the last minute and 30 seconds to find a crate and stay near it. Keep your audio up because crates make a sound when you're near them. The last thing you want is for the timer to run out and you not be able to find a crate because you stayed in the air until the contract was at the last 10 seconds. From my personal experience, 1 minute and 30 seconds was plenty of time. That gave me enough time to find a loot crate and to make sure that there was no enemies nearby when I was using the chopper at least. If you're in a car or on the ground, make sure you take that into consideration and give yourself more time. I would highly recommend the player who is looting tries to get a UAV as well. That's going to help you a lot, because the last thing you want is for you to get killed by an enemy with the last 10 seconds left, because it's possible. I had a situation where I had 5 seconds left and I almost didn't open the crate in time because 2 enemies pushed me. Luckily it counted even though I died, but that's something just to take in consideration. Both players are going to be getting a lot of money doing this. I would recommend buying UAVs when you can and using the remaining amounts to buy armor plates. If you pair up those 2 methods, you'll get a lot of XP. If you're not sure what the armor plate method is, I'll leave a link in the description down below so you can watch that video as well. And for final method number 2, as a solo player, I would highly recommend you keep squad refill on. You're going to rely pretty much on chance. You're going to have to hope that your teammate doesn't quit or leave the match as soon as they notice that you're landing on a different spot. You also need to hope that they're fast at looting crates as well, because like I mentioned, every crate or duffel bag subtracts 10 seconds off the timer. You're going to pretty much do the same method as method 1, find a chopper and just fly around in the air, avoid players till the timer ends. But even if your duo isn't good at looting, it's still a pretty good efficient way to get weapon level XP. The contract is only 4 minutes, which is still a lot of XP for 4 minutes. Me personally, I ran my test as a solo because I felt bad at putting a random duo with me, because at the end of the contract I was killing myself and losing the gulag on purpose for testing purposes just to figure out the XP gain. Anyways, that's it for the video, guys. Hope you enjoyed, hope it's helpful. If you guys can leave a like and subscribe, I'd greatly appreciate it. Thanks and peace.
You got debated. You got debated. You got debated.